Now, you also talk about in your work strategic alliances.
Right.
And that whole concept of creating more effective networks, both in your work and your life.
Right.
What kind of strategies do you talk about there?
Well, Rob Cross, a professor from the University of Virginia, found that one of the greatest predictors of success at work is how familiar you are with the people you work with and their skills. And so it's a critical aspect of success.
Stress maybe if you're not into it and you don't
Exactly.
understand it.
Success is understanding what people do around you. And it's amazing. Often successful people do spend the time. They want to know the people they're working with. They take the time, they go out for lunch. They invite people to sit on boards with them or even committees or get them involved. And that's a great way to combine what you're doing already with getting to know someone. It's taking that time. Sit down for coffee. Oh, you just joined the company. That's fantastic. Welcome. You know, where did you come from? What have you done? What's your role going to be here? And keeping in touch with people. It's not brain surgery. It's just some simple things that often we're so focused on our job and so stressed, we don't take the time to do it.
So what you're talking about, Wendy, is coming out of your moment, coming out of your own vantage point, your own world, extending yourself and creating your own network by inviting people into your world.
Absolutely. And it's doing some really simple things and understanding what networking is about. And I don't always like that word because it gets a bit of a bad rap. People think of, people at an event and sticking their noses up in the air looking for the next best person. But it's really about getting to know people, creating relationships, and helping others. And when we help others, it often comes back to us, and it creates a better, more positive feeling in a work environment. And so it's often not something other than taking the time, getting out of our heads and saying, wow, Suzanne has a really interesting background. Let me see what she does so I can better understand and how I might be able to help her in the future, right? It doesn't have to be more than a coffee or a lunch. And then once I've done that and I know, as I sit down and strategize and work on different projects, I can say, you know what, I think Suzanne might be the best person for this. And what Rob Cross has done is he has mapped out, it's just absolutely phenomenal, he has mapped out people's networks within a company. So you've got the normal organizational chart, and then he maps out how people relate and that network. And he finds bottlenecks, and he finds powerful people, and it's just fantastic in terms of productivity.
Interesting.
It's fascinating.
So if you want to expand your sphere of influence,
right,
then one of the best things you can do then is to extend yourself, not go around and say, me, this is what I'm about, but find out, but say, you, what are you about? And bring people in.
And Harvey Mackay in his book, Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty, which is about networking. Have you read it?
No, that's a great title. Dig Your Well
Before You're Thirsty.
Wow, that's a great title.
It's investing in your network before you need them. He talks about you give, you get. You don't give, you don't get.
Right.
And one of the basic keys that I talk about in networking is helping others. Don't think about what you can get. Think about how can I help somebody else. And usually it just comes back to you, but it's got to be that genuine helping.
You know, it struck me that if you're in a job interview even, it might sound funny, but if you're in that situation, which is really about me, but if you were to take that approach in a job interview or finding a new contract, which is really your own personal endeavor, but if you were to take that approach so that you were there with the intention of actually leaving some benefit for the other person, then you're shifting the tables in a way that they're not expecting. It can be very powerful to do that.
Absolutely, and it's all, it should always be about them, whether it's your client, whether it's your boss, whether it's a coworker. People respond to that, right? What happens is that we're so stressed, deadline-driven, and frustrated that often we're just me. But we create greater wealth for everybody whether it's actual wealth or, dynamics or productivity, when we think about what can I do for somebody else. And you mentioned about energy, right? When we're up and feeling great, people are attracted to us, right? When we walk around and we're upset, people stay away from us.
Yeah.
And when we help other people, we get energized, right?
Yeah.
We feel it, we just push everybody up in the process. Yeah. And it's a great feeling. Personally, I love it. It's fun for me to help people and see how people are connected. I just love that.
And people are more attracted to you for it. They want to
Yes.
sign. They want to take their workshops.
Sign on the dotted line. But it's just fantastic because it is very energizing.